So you know north and south, yes?
Yeah.
And this attracts particles.
Yeah.
How do you think it moves? What pattern do you think it makes? Spirals? Or the Fibonacci sequence? Or an eye? Magnetic north always moves, yes?
Mm-hmm.
But there again, well, I wonder how it moves. Does it move in a rotation?
Yeah.
And these particles that are coming in, some get burnt up, don't get me wrong. But still, this must bring some debris from the star, yes? Now, it's
Yeah.
either puffing up the atmosphere. Do you think there are pyramids on multiple areas? Do you think the pyramids at Giza,
Uh-huh.
depending on the orientation of the planet?
Yeah.
What do you think happens when there's a pole shift? I know there's been a magnetic flip, but do you think that all of it rotates?
Does all of it rotate or?
Because if you think about it, yes, it keeps building up, yes,
Yeah.
in the pole. So we've got winter and summer, and then there's not so common is the southern lights, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But it's more common to have northern lights.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right? Lapland and stuff like this is more common.
Because we see it
Yeah,
more.
well, I guess
People
then
go
that
there
could be
more.
that. So with these particles that come in, and the north, and then I assume that the south is moving too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this leaves a debris trail,
Yeah, it's possible.
a slight building up?
I think that the core is not perfect sphere, is it?
No. And do you think that some of these particles, although very small, we could say, but build up over a larger period of time?
Mm.
Do you think that this can begin to topple the planet? With the more the poles move, with the more attraction. And what do you think about the north and south zone? See, sometimes we do see northern lights, yes?
Yeah.
Do you think the star spits out charged particles that are more charged to south, that are attracted to the north, and more charged particles that are attracted to the south as pluses? Do you think that makes a difference between the hemispheres of the sun, and then the sun is pushing out central?
That's a mystery to me, all of that. I just know that different gases make different colors of
Yeah,
those
I
lights,
understand
but
this.
I
Yes,
don't
because
know.
it goes into light.
But how they get there, I don't know at all.
This must be building something up, because this is something being received.
Yeah.
Although very minute, but over a longer period of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's almost like the planets are siphoning. Maybe something else is siphoning from it, and these are just tapping in off of it because of the charged particles, which then made me think about magnets. And that if you were to fly in these belts, and if you could make a magnet that was not north and south, but just either south or north facing, at the time that you orbit over the north, you hit south, will this cause you to attract to the planet? And if you were to go over the north and make the magnet on the craft hit north, would that repel? Would that cause rise? And then you'd have to turn it off because of the north and south. All of these things are charged, right?
Yeah, that would be interesting and
Because you would
Interesting
never need
too.
fuel to keep.
yeah.
Interesting. And what do you think about electricity? Here's another one I was thinking about. So you have a plus and minus, yes?
Yeah.
Well, assuming that they look plus and minus based on a magnetic field, what would it take? So two minuses make a plus. Yeah?
Yeah.
I think that's how you deplete a battery, isn't it? Slowly but surely. If you start with 9 pluses and they do the circuit,
Yeah.
don't you come back with it then goes on to make, so 9 go out of the circuit, and then this gives you what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm not sure if that gives you back 9 minuses, which then gives you 4 pluses.
Yeah.
And then 4 goes out again, which carry 1, by the way, carry 1. So 4 then shoot out, of 2 pluses go out, and then you then have 2 that come back, plus carry the 1, and then you can have 2 that goes, then 1, and then the final one that goes, and then you have 1 minus left, which then is an empty battery. Is that how that works? Because alternating current, right?
Yeah.
It's just send and receive, which then you can combine 2 minuses, can't you? in order to then resend them as pluses.
Yeah, it's kind of moving.
And then if the plus is separated, if we understand it that way, that one has been used for the energy, one is sent. Then the other one is used and then is put into energy. But I was thinking about this. What happens if you then stacked 3 minuses together and squashed them together? Do you generate more energy? Is energy really only in 2, plus and minus? Because we often overlook it when we look at a magnet. We often got the north and south range in the middle. What's that? That's a plus, plus and minus.
Plus and minus. It just depends how
Yeah,
many.
but plus and minus then makes the start of a compass.
Yeah.
Then what happens if you add 2 pluses together, which is then 4 minuses, is it not? Which then gives you a star or a compass. What type of energy would that be? Sure, how would that circulate is the question. And then can you make power more stacked by compressing it? You see, that's another thing. We here on Earth, we live in a biome that says iron is like this is like this, lithium behaves like this lives like this. But that's just one version of it being that way, isn't
That's
it?
only here, nowhere else.
So what happens if you heat it up or cool it down? Certainly with magnets. Yeah, I was just thinking about this. And Tesla did state that he got his idea from this from the start. Which then I was thinking about it. So what's being chucked out at the middle of the star? It's got to be plus minus, right? The center. The center of the planet is plus minus. Therefore, there must be a bigger build-up. So therefore, the equator. We're definitely receiving energy. And we say energy. Yeah, sure. But I think we're also receiving stuff from the star. Interesting is where does the star get it from? That's the next bit that you can say, well, it's from hydrogen. But then what's that tapping in from? Is it still pulling in a nebula through different charged?
Is it the galaxy that because the planets and the stars are parts of those twisted sort of parts of the galaxy? And each galaxy is different, but it's always in sitting in some area.
They always sit in the plus minus zone, don't they? Sure, you can send satellites in an opposite direction, but even still, then they start to come closer.
So does the charge and the pull on the planet depends on, because the galaxy rotates as well, but also the sort of tentacles, I don't know how to call them, they rotate too.
Yeah.
So does the charge depend on all of those
Keeping it
movements together? And if there is certain movement, then the poles swap and then they stay for some time the other way, don't they? Because...
See, I was looking at the speed of light and the speed of darkness. This is what got me thinking about it. What if something is pulling it in? Why are the clouds not shooting out of it? Something must be pulling it. And to say that it's the speed of light is holding it or gravitational, it's not enough. It seems like there's a pull, which we could say a gravitational, but what is the speed of that? It's got to be quite significant because it's drawing things off. And then if the planets have a magnetic field, aren't they pulling in more particles? As opposed to a planet that doesn't have a magnetic field, then what's it pulling in, if anything? Is it just going to fly by it? And therefore, it's not going to land on the planet because it doesn't have a magnetic field. So therefore, if this is what got me thinking about meteorites, there's a little bit of Tesla when he was saying that he looked at the sun in order to understand an induction motor, which was interesting because I was having a little mosey at that. I didn't understand what he meant by it. But I was thinking about, what about the equator? What is that? A plus and a minus, or plus minus? And then if you have an electromagnetic field on the planet, you must be pulling in particles. As opposed to one that doesn't, then it's not. Or perhaps it is. It's got to have things that hit it, so it's got to be a direct hit. But if something is siphoning, such as the speed of darkness pulling in from the black hole, then how would you prevent all of those gases or particles or depletion entering into the black hole? Well, you'd have to do it as an intricate dance, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So if you had magnetic in your planets, how's it going to pull it in? Well, sure, the black hole's going to be pulling it in, but if there is a stronger magnetic field, it's going to land there first. And therefore, you can slow down the growth ratio of the universe. Think about it in a way that if there was no magnetism, no magnetic fields, then wouldn't all of the stardust have been sucked in by the gravitational pull of the black holes? So before neutrinos, this has to be established as planets begin to orbit, which is failed star. They can become a star. And then it got me thinking about meteorites, because if this poses a question or answers a question, and yes, you can do this with, then figuring out what charge an asteroid is, a bit like pottery. Pottery catches the alignment, and this can be read in laboratories. Well, if that is the case, then that type of equipment aimed at an asteroid from a long distance to find out whether it's more north or more south. And if it is, can you influence it by hitting it and then begin to shift it out of the way? Because then you could build a defense mechanism around Earth or spacecraft. And then if you come to hit something, you can deflect them before they even reach the craft. Just by having electromagnetism. You'd think of it like what you can see and what you can't. So, I don't know, we was looking on another one where you understand the darkness in the, and then you understand the particle. One's for sweat, but one must be breathing for a pore, perhaps sweat gland, this, that, and the other. But if you had an intricate maze done like this around a craft of electromagnetic, this is interesting. I wonder if it would work. That's just what I'm asking. If you then had some charged, when a star explodes, yes, it's going to be like pottery. It's been very hot, so it's going to be charged. So can a planet with a magnetic field deflect meteorites and also likewise attract them? And do you think that there's more of a delicate dance than meets the eye? You see, Uranus is fascinating. What's it? What is it doing? Why is it aimed that way? What does it know that we don't yet? It'd be interesting to see what will hit that and whether it's going to be very big. It could have been hit and knocked on its back, sure. That's an interesting thing, that is. Or is it tracking something and is moving its poles to try and either attract something or push something away that we can't see? Something devastating for it. And it would seem interesting, wouldn't it? But there again, does it have a great magnetic field? That's another thing. But anyway, but even still, if you could dance these objects around an object with one south, one north, this side south, this one north, this one north, this one south, this one north, and zigzag it. But I get the north-south mode. I don't know. That would have to be figured out, which you could do as well. You could integrate this around. Now, I was just wondering if any particles that came, depending on how they exploded out of the star, they're going to be charged. A bit like northern lights. These seem to be attracting. But if you could read these quickly at a further distance away from these, you can alter them in order to deflect. Sure, I don't know 100%. It's just interesting to me, that is, that these particles seem to be attracted, and if that would be the case, then it stops the black holes from eating everything, because if not, the galaxies would not exist. They wouldn't exist for very long. So something seems to be pulling off.
And they form, and they are different shapes, but they are all over the place. I think that's
So if you think about it with the stars in the formation, the outer suburbs, let's say, the ones towards the side, are going to be leaching stuff out. But if then they're attracted to the other star, and then to the other star, then to the other star, then to the other planets, it takes a longer time for it to get to the black hole.
But the stars are rotating just like Earth, aren't they, around their axis? And I wonder if they are all rotating around that tentacle somehow. even though for us they seem to be stationary and we rotate around them, but because they rotate as well, they go around, and that is intricate magnetic field. I wonder how it's shaped around that. I don't know.
And do you think that the galaxies will? This is interesting, right? I'd ask you something as well. You know, when galaxies have mergers,
Yeah,
variables, some get smashed,
yeah,
some fuse, and some find their. This creates more debris, which would feed the black hole.
yeah.
You see, the black holes have to siphon. They must siphon because they need to know what they're dealing with. It takes time, but they learn. So if an outer star does something unusual, it's going to take time before that reaches the black hole because the rest of the stars will bring all of this material in. I'm almost sure of it, and also the planets too.
I think there's some sort of chain reaction from the edge. If those two galaxies get together, the edges touch first. So there's some ripple coming towards the black hole.
And it depends on how they maneuver. How do they merge? And then perhaps the stars begin to maneuver their magnetic fields in order to try and push away incoming stars. Yeah, I think this is when the closer to Andromeda, if humans are still about at that time, it becomes a very chaotic place. I think the stars will begin to orientate, and that would be interesting because how many mergers have happened while the Earth has been in existence? That's an interesting thing, isn't it? Magnetic fields, I think, are alignments in order to align in these mergers, which again, it shows you how intelligent it really is. Well, being able to see it and prove it is another thing, but just thinking on about it. Yeah, the four corners of the Earth. Do you think there are pyramids located in certain areas?
I wonder. I know that people used to erect menhirs and some variety of stuff like that in places where there was some magnetic field or they felt something, so could be.
A magnetic field is always moving. That's the thing. But to know its full journey with its oscillating, wrong word, but even still, I wonder if this is making a Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, it's
and these particles begin to, although very few and far between, depending on how long it's doing it. I wonder if it makes Fibonacci or it makes an eye. Looks like an eye.
Yeah,
it must have an effect somewhere on this.
Yeah, I think it does that, as you said.
Something like this.
Yeah, as you said, that it rotates like that, both poles, in a way, like in, out. Because if the core has some funny shape and not perfectly round, then the north and south is the stretched part a little bit, probably, or I don't know, just I'm saying maybe nonsense. And then as it moves, because it rotates somehow, it changes where the pole is, the true magnetic pole, and that might in long term have effect on our rotation as it is.
And do you think stars limit nuclear fusion happening too close to them? They slow it down or they interfere with it?
It's possible. They
Do you think fusion can only happen if there's space and there's room to do so? A true fusion. Or what happens if you compress a lightning bolt?
I don't know.
What does lightning look like in space? Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Fusion is happening in the stars, So they are immune to that, aren't they?
I don't think the dinosaurs walked to the poles. I think something shifted and it trapped them there.
Yeah, that's quite possible.
But whatever would have caused that, weather would have changed, ice caps would have melted, and tectonic shift. Volcanoes, perhaps, if ocean water moves out of the way
Yeah.
and you expose the hydrothermal vents, these areas are going to be very weak. With the weight of the ocean pushing down, they seem very small. But that pressure is keeping them small. But if water moves out of the way, I'm pretty sure that will create an eruption because it's going to be easier for it to do so in that case. It's like something letting go. It's also the methane. What happens when that gets released? Does that trigger off a coldness? Does that trigger off a freezing effect or a warming effect? Which one is it, do you think?
Yeah, and I wonder about the water getting deep into the crust and near the core, which probably pushed the continents up. At one point, they say that's one theory that the whole planet was like, especially Russia, was all cracked, and there was so much volcanic activity that it was all red. If the water does it, if the magnetism somehow.
Your magnetism will move water.
Yeah, and so as the effect, then it made the land, all the magma went up and made the land not livable for some time, because that's what the theory is about Russia.
Well, yeah, you've got a lot of weight on land mass that's not experienced it before, and you've got a lot of less weight on land mass that has experienced it for longer periods of time. You can understand how ancient forests can be crushed into coal.
Yeah.
And it's just this constant squeezing. And plus with the moon phase as well. The moon, I don't think it really 100% lifts up salt water. I think it lifts the crust.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And the water responds to this.
Yeah.
I think it creates rips in that. That's that sort of rips that come around. I think that's what the moon does. Personally, that's my opinion. And I also think meteorites can also do this. There's a lot of fresh water up at the poles, isn't there? A lot of that melt there is fresh.
And isn't it that some really big lakes have the tidal waves as well?
Don't some ships use fresh water in salt water as ballast?
Yeah.
Because it's more likely to stay afloat back in the... Which is interesting if the poles moved in this weird sort of way. I mean, it's a lot of water, but you would begin to freeze rivers, wouldn't you?
It freezes earlier than salt water.
So therefore that would rise up on the salt water itself. Yes, there is salt water frozen in that process too, don't get me wrong.
But if it moves, it obviously takes longer. If it really like moves, it doesn't freeze that quickly either, even fresh water.
And then I ask whether this constant stuff here as well, can it also tilt a planet? This is just
that's what I'm thinking.
Walking around with. And then this makes me wonder about the 12, 3, 6, 9. Four corners of the... I don't know. You can make a planet quite square if you put in peaks, which it might look like a sun as well, mightn't it?
Yeah. It looks like simplified star, doesn't it? With just 4 points.
Yeah, but can you imagine stars being at the right... It's very rare, but I'm sure it happens. In galaxy mergers, some stars end up boofing together.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then there's going to be a lot of debris flying around.
Yeah.
Which then means the planets are going to be in for the making of that, which then creates more stars in the process. I think there's multiple ways to make stars. I think, yes, nebula, of course. And I also think that what happens if we see a moon get smashed apart and it sort of the core pieces come back together again? I think this can happen with stars, especially how do you get really large stars?
Yeah.
Well, I think that when the galaxies become to merge together, A lot of them with bigger stars have merged sooner, I think, and two stars have hit together, but they haven't fallen apart 100%. But I think that they've shattered but come back together on themselves, and then you've added accumulated two stars.
And then they have funny shape because it's still
it's still coming
in
together.
a process.
And then, therefore, what are going to be the resources in that? This is much more bigger, much more hotter. What are the ingredients in that? I mean, wouldn't you like to know? Yeah. I've been in a few days, I'm making more room, but I've been fusing galaxies together. Trying to make two star systems and hit these together. And then I wonder if you could do it with the planets as well. That would be a very interesting thing, and mimic an atom. But also galaxies. Perhaps in the universe, it would be very unlikely that two are going to form identical as twins. Fact is, life forms are variables. So they could watch the way a galaxy is made. Well, never mind that. You do stars first, perhaps. You probably do fusion first and understand the process. Then you'll probably move on to stars. Time. Impatience, I think, would drive this with any other life forms, to be honest. It's an amazing process. It really is. So I'm building galaxies, and then don't even get me started on fracturing the universe in half. And then trying to orchestrate both parts of the universe to grow at the same time and try and merge both of these together. And yes, it will make it smaller, but it would change it. There's a interesting thing. Two neutrinos, whew, man, that's interesting. I often leave those alone, but still, even still. So if you take two galaxies and you nurture both of these together, and get them identical, and then be able to squash both of these together, what's the outcome? Have you made a super galaxy? How has it changed it? What does it change into? These are the things. And then if you could do this with a universe, I know it's weird to think about it, isn't it? It is. But you need numbers and a lot of life forms working together in order to achieve that. And there was something else as well, that you can wrap parts of this universe up. You know, some scientists will say that they could cloak the Earth. I think it was Bill Gates that was saying this. You know that you can do this with parts of the universe, although it seems very big. You wrap life forms in this. It's like a wrapper. You can't see beyond it. You see, from a distance, how can you tell the difference between a star and a hologram or some type of projection? It seems very interesting. You get the right heat, yes, because you'll try and break your own invention. Lots of life forms coming together. That's an interesting thing. It's a process. You believe there are orders here, yeah? There's structures and order here. There's a higher order. One very different to how it operates here. Here is mediocre, but it gets you understanding it. Every single time you evolve through your species is an order. Wars in space are easy. That's the thing. You know, once you get a little bit intelligent, it becomes a bit stupid to have a war in space, because you'd all be sending bits of black hole towards one another, making stars appear on planets, or burning a planet very quickly like a star, like striking a match, with the planet being the end of the match, the nip, the tip, turning it into a star for a second again. It's got to start somewhere, hasn't it? Anyway, but still, all of these weird things sort of happen, and that becomes pretty pointless, because, you know, but there's puzzle pieces. Yeah, many puzzle pieces that need to be collected. And again, by and large, you don't have to do it. You do have to do it. It's up to you, really. But the thing is, whether you rose up naturally, primitively, or anything else for that matter, if you are worthy with a puzzle piece, and depending on how far certain things come, and no, they don't need to prove nothing. That's the thing. Yes, we say a higher power being a gods or whatever else. Okay, and then perhaps God will take you on a journey, whatever you call it, spirits, whatever. It will take you on a journey, a very interesting journey. It's interesting, to be fair. In order to see the others, you usually get channeled in on this one. It leads you. It doesn't need to prove anything to anything. Now, however, if you rose up primitively, you've taught it how to make you. That's the thing. Over and over again, it can recreate you. But there's also a different type of power would be able to do it, minusing off the things that you contend with. So you usually hear people say that, oh, in order to have a good life, you've got to have this, and this, blah, 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 blah. And you need some requirements, right? And you also got to eat, and you got to do this. All of that shit generally works on a planet. But if you had to do some other work, perhaps, those things become hindrance. Could you imagine that? Still work to be done, but still, what is that? Is it exciting? Is it fun? Is it... And again, there's multiple ways I see it. So I understand then that there's a thread that channels, and it teaches you to get a stronger channel with it. And it does. It often does. It's sort of, in the beginning, it's something that strobing, and then eventually you lock onto this channel. It teaches you how to see it, and you see it, and it sees you. It's an interesting thing. It's a very interesting process. But it also moves you away from it in order to see something else. And then it helps you to understand seeds. Yeah, a piece of string. You can go, when you come into the channel, you either look this way or you can look that way. That's the thing. It's like this with most thought processes. You gain a little bit, look that way. And you can run away with it. But you can also look the opposite way and see how they managed to come to that conclusion in the first place. What were they thinking? Maybe it's not what is, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter about that. The fact is, it's taken you a very long time to make this essence now. Now, sure, it might not have known that it was going to make that, but it could look for that. And therefore, this is cherry picking. And then it can make you anywhere, and then something else can make you anywhere. It's only a matter of time before humans begin to figure out cloning to the point where you're able to do it. It's very close. It's closer than it appears to be. Anyway, this is a weird thing. And then all of the things that you're made up of have been defused and fused. Your essence has been, you basically possess your body. It's a weird thing, isn't it, to think about that? Little pieces. Now, what do these pieces do? Interesting. And therefore, you teach it. And it gets a baseline up until the point of when you die. That's a baseline of you. That's interesting, isn't it? That's an interesting sort of essence. This can be given, taken, and used anywhere. It doesn't have to be used here. And we understand that things are defused and fused, defused and fused. I think it's an interesting thing to think about, how many cycles have the universe been in. And each time it's unpacked from the same substance, different vessels. That's interesting, isn't it? You even get your head around how many are here in this biome. And that's only what we can perceive. Pieces of the puzzle. And any other life forms would be into that. And if they have the same channeling effect, which I think that's another thing that people work out. What is this? What is that? What is... And do you believe that eventually, that no matter how advanced ETs become, and you ask yourself the question, can you be it? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can. Do you want to be it? That's another question entirely. But do you think if you dot your I's and do a good enough job, that this channel will make you any time in order to be the keepers, whether here or there.
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
There's a hell of a amount of evolving. There's a lot of keys. It's like Mayan calendar is how you are tuned as a life form. It's a lock. It's a mechanism. It's tuned.
Yeah.
And you have a key, an encrypted key in you, but it's not a key, and an encrypted lock, one channel. Doesn't matter if somebody else steals your key. They can't do the lock because they can't see it. It's tuned to you. And your way of finding this process might not be somebody else's way, and it might not be somebody else's way, and it might not be somebody else's way. That's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it doesn't really work as a key. It's more like a mechanism. You move all of these certain discs, if you want to call it that, mechanisms, and you get them into the right sort of, and poof, something opens. Perhaps in you, maybe in somebody else. I think it's very interesting. And there's this working back and forth, like it seems very invisible, and it seems quite a lot of stuff. Anyway, so once you've played around with these mechanisms, you have taught it its language. It understands this very well. Once taught, so it teaches you and you're teaching it. There's no getting away from that. So it leans in, and anything holding an order to be recreated, no matter what, even if it all goes wrong, because of the age, the awareness, the capabilities. And when you think about it, this is like the most smallest percentage of all of the stuff. No matter whether it's a language, no matter whether it's a skill, everything that life forms have built have come from something else. It's interesting, isn't it? And it's sort of come through you. Yes, you've done this, done that. Yes. Learned and did other things. Yeah, sure. But by and large, it comes from this, working with. You work with it, it works with you. And you think about that sort of power. And what do you truly desire? What do you truly desire as a human? You know, I was asking Litland about this today. What is it? Well, it's eternity is usually one, isn't it? Don't you think? Eternal living?
Eternal living, flying through the universe and seeing
flying's
all of
pretty
that.
shit, but
See
yes,
the whole universe, travel through the universe and see.
And really get to play with it.
Yeah.
Not to be able to end existence. Missing.
Yeah.
It's almost like 4 principles. It's technically not 4 because you would have to go 2, 4, 6, 8. Because each one is the transition stage. There are a lot of things that cause an inconvenience. Can you imagine stacking a lot of inconvenience on vessels and seeing if they can walk? Like Buckaroo. And if they manage to get through that, you think how it happens when you take it off? How much more capable you are. That's an interesting thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it often is easy to understand that people have come from somewhere and have come down on the planet. No. Yeah. It's a starting point. Anyway, still with all that sort of stuff, but you also got to understand that it's quite powerful, and that you can do a lot of things with it. This whole biome here, the whole thing, the universal biome, it's tiny. It's small. And compared to anything else, again, to even talk about it, you see, often you think that you've come to the end of a journey, and then something else unpacks, and there's even more to understand. It's an interesting process, but there's more beyond this. Lots more. And it also has its equal intelligence and capabilities that go with it. That's very interesting. And they will just be looked at as thoughts. Here we would understand those as thoughts, but weird thoughts maybe to some, because you can't fit it into here. That's the thing. You just can't pack it in. Oh yes. But yeah, so right now I'm at the galaxies and universes, and then what does that look like? It gets small and mighty, but even still fusing and then defusing. How do you defuse that again? And then that can make another biome. And then if you make something as a species, that's an interesting thing as well, isn't it? So any life forms that leave their current planet, they don't like it the way it is. It's always problematic, yes?
Yeah.
So they leave, and they may go around with their technologies and capabilities and a load of thoughts that come in to sort of get them on the off the runway. That's universal intelligence mixed through with your intelligence, and you combine the two. This is often what happens. You're often taking the invisible, and you often combine two lots of invisibility to create something in the physical. But you're taking something from here, it's combining with you, and it's almost pushed together, and then you act out and do something and rah, and then it's created, yes? But that comes from here. Now this on its own, without you, wouldn't see it the same way you see it. It needs your 2 pennies in order to combine that. And then it's taught you at the same time you have taught it. And then you bring it into reality. That's a third type of, is it possible? Is it feasible? And then it becomes, yes, it's possible. It's been taught. Now, that's an interesting thing, right? So whether it's used here, most people build their lives up on, it's all for here. It's all for here. And I build my reputation up, build my knowing up, build it up. I get out in the world, perhaps, maybe I get famous, who knows, whatever it may be, I don't know, whatever it is. And then that becomes it. That's all there is. And if there is anything after, then there is. And if there isn't, there isn't, right? That's sort of, and then perhaps money is the journey, and this is this, and then that becomes this, and a big fucking house. I mean, loads of people are chasing it, yeah? A lot of people are chasing that sort of life. And no disrespect to anyone that has. That's just your thing. But once you've taken some information, and sure, you do, and something comes to you, and you combine yours, and then you bring it out into the world. Sounds good. Maybe it looks good. Maybe it is. And you make your own Earth. And then you will go on, and then it will push you to make your own star. And then it will push you to go on to create your own black hole type version, any way that it may be. And if you do it really well, and there's multiple variables of this. This is interesting. How many can you do? How much could you exhaust as a species? Well, you've got 1 star system, then you're at 2 star systems, then you're at 3 star systems, 4. And before you know it, you've got enough to make a haven for each person on the planet. Like at 9 billion different versions of an Earth. Massive for each individual. That's a huge amount. And the universe can quite easily cater for this, and this can work through multiple vessels. Now, the thing is, with each design of this Earth, people are going to have a particular type of taste, a particular type of style. Their pennies into it are going to look very different from anything else's. Before you know it, with then the help of this afterwards, think about it, how much of a universe could you make from that? You make your own biome. That's interesting. And what sort of life forms would you rise up on there? And then assuming that humanity go ahead and they find some strange building blocks elsewhere and combine with your building blocks, and then you start to merge life, and 9 billion people doing this on another particular biome, have they just created a version of ET that they would then have to nurture and look after and protect and safeguard from big events? And in some cases, perhaps eliminate a few
Mhm.
in the process, right? Because it's just not working. But that's your higher hand. And then you would create an order. And before you know it, you've just created a whole universe of this happening. Could you imagine that? Your very own universe. Now that's interesting. Now that might not be something that is up for you, but for this likes that a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's creative. It's also destructive, but it needs to cycle. It needs to be a prophecy, self-fulfilling, over and over. Why? Because the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time, there's going to be variables of life that rise up. And it's what they're able to do. And then imagine them building their own version. A few variables in there won't do anything. A few will not have enough time. So that poses another question. What happens if you give it more time? It was taught how to make this once. It can make it again at any time. Now you think how much knowledge that is building, because it will see things that you won't. And even if you created it, the biomes and the stars in your version and the planets and different things like that, it turns into a whole universe in comparison. Each life form that's on there is not going to like it. Your version of an ideal life will be very dated by the time it gets fully flowing. But it's already in the mechanism. That's already happening. It's not a lot you can really do about it then. It's already taking off. Would you control them to not shape it? Control is easy.
Yeah.
Or would you let them reshape it? Would you feel offended that they're reshaping your biome that you created for them? You wouldn't. And they will make it in a way that none of the life forms exist and they've ever seen. This keeps going, because now take a piece of that biome, a piece of this biome, which would understand it for a human individually. Is it hard for you to imagine that? Do you make your own star? Type of stars?
I think it is, isn't it? For most humanity.
How many variations could you slam them together?
Yeah.
Oh, I like this one. Oh, I like this. I like that.
Yeah.
Cycles and creativity. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
These are fascinating. Anyway, that's if you dive into this sort of thing, but it's a. And then, do you see how you become a god? Would you, if you could, would you go down to all of the life forms and teach them, guide them? What if they nail you to a cross?
That's a risk, isn't it?
But would it be any skin off your nose if you knew something? Would you go down and be all holier than thou and powerful as fuck, take all of your abilities with you and scare the shit out of them? Would you punish them? Would you know when an experiment was not working? If you would call it an experiment. Often not looked at it in that way, but still.
Yeah, it looks like in different religions, in some of them, like in Greece or whatever, the gods live somewhere on the mount high away from people, and sometimes they punish them and sometimes they praise them, and so it comes from somewhere, doesn't it?
Do you think this is big? This is big. Do you think this is big? Here, space.
Space is huge, isn't it?
You think it is?
Yeah, isn't it?
It's tiny.
Space is tiny.
Yes, it's tiny. Interesting. And if you saw more
Yeah.
and incorporated more biomes together,
Yeah.
I mean, how many do you reckon you could have? It'd be like hanging baubles on a tree, but the tree is infinite.
Hmm.
And what do you think all of that expanding would be doing? No, because after all, this has a mission.
Yeah.
It's up to something.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to be a part of the biome that you create?
I think so, yeah.
Would you live longer away in your own little? Would you hide in it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's an interesting question,
Yeah,
isn't it?
because I would have to think about it first, like that. Options are open.
Oh yes.
Right?
Anyway, just assuming
Mm.
that any of that was possible, and you do what you want with it, take it with a pinch of salt, find it all boring and all the rest of it. That's entirely your thing. But
No, I don't find it boring.
and do you think you would collaborate? And if any life forms in the biome began to walk the path,
Mm-hmm.
would you level them up? Would you make your awareness known to the life forms?
Well, if I could, I would share the knowledge with them.
If you could.
Yeah, if it was possible somehow to do that.
Would you have an idea of the life forms shaped, what level they would be at, what you would find the rules? That if they jump this way, do this, walk this, rally around this, would you then Anyway, just assuming that any of this is real, and I mean it all.
I don't know what I would know, so I would try definitely to somehow, if I could help them or teach them something or be present and overlook them or at least watch them how they are doing. But options are open. So.
Yeah, so if that's something you want to think about, what type of a universe would you make? And would you be cool with them transforming it into their own version, knowing that you walked that path yourself?
If I didn't, they would be like pets, not like developing creatures, wouldn't they?
It's different from pets. Pets is
different. But pets are in the same, like if you have hamster, it's in the same environment.
Would you have favorites?
And you provide over and over. Maybe, yeah.
How would you show they were your favorite?
Maybe I wouldn't. I would just think that. Maybe I would. I don't know. Hard to say, isn't it?
Before you start the mechanisms would run on and they would go, would you stress test the system yourself?
I don't know.
You don't know.
I don't know.
So let me get this straight. You'd let some variables play around with it and stress test it in a way that you don't know about, that don't even have an idea of how it could be. So take your journey here and you can stress test some things. Right now you can't because it's just the way it is at the moment, but imagine 9 billion, let's say 20 billion life forms just on one planet, which seems like a large amount, which is not. It's very small, insignificant compared to all of them. Now that seems hard to believe right now because you've got to be able to prove it. Everybody wants proof. The problem is you're too young, and when you're young you want to fight. When you want to fight, you want to destroy one another, perhaps, and not hold the value of the chips. So I understand that for some reasons this happens, and yes, order, I get it. But with other life forms, more advanced or less advanced, that's not exactly an equal field, is it?
Yeah.
especially with the tools that can be used. Anyway, what was I asking? I was going to ask something. I lost my train of thought. It doesn't matter. Life forms too close together. This is insignificant. So let's say you had 20 billion life forms just at this neck of the woods, and they understood the true value of abundance everywhere and were able to reshape it as they saw fit. Now, if you built a whole species on this principle, that you would then look at AI being a database, perhaps. It would be nice if it was word of mouth, even still, but how you would send that, there's another thing entirely. But let's say you went out and you all began to build your own version of an Earth. A whole Earth to each of these, let's say 20 billion. How many stars are there? How big are stars compared to you? I think if we pop some of the bigger ones, there's more than enough resources to keep you going. Family bloodlines and so forth and so on for millennia. And you shape your own planet from that. Roughly. And you get to pick what type of plants you have in there. What type of insects would you have? But you would probably find very quickly. But anyway, let's take an understanding of this database that you would share what worked and what didn't work with everyone. Therefore, you would build a database of what people can pick. What didn't work and why it didn't work, and then that leaves somebody else to play around with that and crack that. And then everyone might add a little bit of this, perhaps. Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
With your own particular types of food on it. Now, assuming that you were playing around with life forms, and would you play around with pets? Life forms? Would you if you could shape them? Would you? And if there was a database, and perhaps somewhere where this was already being made,
like an
put your ingredients in
experiment.
and out it comes. It gives you a rough idea of what it's going to look like. How's it going to respond? No idea. But you've got to guess. You've got to guess. And you've got to guess which ones are going to educate. But how would you ever learn them? That's the question. How would you learn them from a distance if they speak no language? Would you teach them in order to guide them, in order to be able to work out what they're saying? Would you go and be a part of them? This is you now in this biome right now. Imagine that if you were born into a world where this is what humanity were doing, shaping their own planet, not a house, not a plot of land, but a whole piece of land being like a planet. That's interesting, isn't it? That's what you would be educated to do. Would you find that fun or boring?
I think it would be fun. Interesting.
You would be incredibly distracted. I don't think you would ever lift your head up. I don't think you would ever really look at anybody else. Trial and error. You'd have too much. You would be occupied. Very interesting indeed. There's a very interesting question indeed, isn't it? It's a weird question. Has anyone ever asked you that before? I like to ask you that. Has anyone asked you that before? Have you ever thought about that?
No, I haven't.
You're going to dream well tonight, that's for sure. Think about it, play around with it, see what you come up with. It's interesting. Yeah, that's a little bit more easier and a little different, but even still, the amount of variations on that. And then there will be the amount of variations of life that would respond to it, depending on what you were doing, what you were creating. If you go to stress test the universe, this biome for argument's sake, you slam things together and change it all up. You can shrink it right down though, that's the problem with that shrinks it down. But again, as long as these ones are here, these take a little bit of time. It's the time that's the issue to pick it, but they will eventually pick it. Yeah, they get one piece of it and they'll chew on it. They always work it out, and just like stars, they always work it out. That balance between the two is beautiful, isn't it? They always work it out. They're pretending to win against each other by, I'm going to make this so complex you will never be able to pick it. I'm going to unpick this one so much and leave it so blank that you won't be able to. They both believe they're winning. They do, in essence, but illusion. But it works. Interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I think I'm going to leave this one here and I'll wind down from this one, I think, but it wasn't where I planned to go. Yeah, I was just asking some weird questions about that. So, do you think it's a snail shell? Do you think these particles even build up with anything? Do you think it's puffing up the atmosphere? These ingredients are coming in. Do you think the planet's doing? And the planet would like to eat all of these little particles, because what happens when it gets iron?
They are munching slowly on them, aren't they? As
Yeah,
they
and
fly
again,
through the space.
If it creates a volcano or something moves or something happens, it's going to take these, especially with the rock layers, it's going to take these in.
Yeah.
More accumulation.
Yeah.
Means
Slowly
bigger
grow
magnetic
bigger.
field. And depending on what it gets, it's like playing lucky dip. Don't want that. Don't want that. Oh, I love these. Don't want that. Volcanoes is the splitting process, but it's almost like humans in reverse, sifting for gold. Chucks away everything else. Yeah, I'll keep these. What about this? Oh, I love that one. That's a nice stone. This one, oh, that's shiny. Oh, nah, fuck that. You know, sand. Jesus Christ, man, fucking hell, sand. The planet is doing the exact same thing. Isn't that an interesting behavior, isn't it? But it just doesn't seem the same way because it's not using a sieve or a net. It's using a magnetic field as a net in order to pull things in.
Yeah.
I'll check again if it's doing it on the small scale, about the large scale. I just wonder if the Earth will allow a hunk of iron to just simply fly by. I don't think it will. Yeah, that's right, you come here. Either burn up or anyway, I will have you. That's interesting. Ooh. Could you imagine leaving the planet as a species and then looking back and thinking, and then just see it start eating all of this stuff in, and it was like, that's a good job we left there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Everything looks alive. It's because it kind of is. And do you think the star is giving because it wants to give, or do you think it's giving to the close things in proximity in order to take them when it's starting to malfunction? Oh, can I take some more of these ingredients here? Look, come on, I gave it to you for a little while. Consider it alone. And then pop. And then Jupiter's probably like, you guys don't want any of this, do you? Slow down, you'll start fusion. That's the fucking point, mate. Another star. Anyway, and you could probably get a binary system in this.
Yeah.
Maybe a trinary. Well, there's a lot of gas giants, isn't there? These are pretty big. And they're quite far away. And they have quite colossal magnetic fields. Do you think they get big? Or do you think they extend the magnetic field and there's more of a reach? Grabbing in more. Why? Because they want to be stars. They've waited patiently.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, with the bigger planets further out, you could potentially have a 4 system off of the sun. A 4-star system. Not impossible. And the Earth, perhaps. It's incredible, isn't it? Even Mars can turn into a star. It seems dead right now, doesn't it? Because its magnetic field and it popped its core out. And temporarily, if that gets hit in the bullseye, that will get hot. And again, it will all sink down again. It doesn't stay on the surface forever. Or it could shatter apart completely. So it's dormant, I would say. Earth, active. Jupiter, very active. So if it's doing it with the small stuff, what do you think it does to the bigger stuff when it comes time? And then if you think about the moons that are orbiting Io and different stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, what does it have? Around 63, 86, 106 the last time. And then it keeps growing, this number. And then some of them are shepherds, but still, they have moons. How many planets do you reckon that could be? Once they all get knocked about and split about, and they're going to grow in size. That's interesting, isn't it? So yeah, sure, nebula, but it would appear to be a nebula, won't it? It will be. Interesting. And if there's enough room in this place over here, and Jupiter dominates over here, and some of that stardust goes this way, then that will cause a cloud, sure. And it's possible that another star could form over there. Small or large. The process just keeps happening, doesn't it? Whether they'll be smaller or larger, that's an interesting thing. But Jupiter is quite massive. So, yeah, my money's on Jupiter. I think that's bang on the money. And I think another scientist has already worked that out. Don't know the name off the top of the head, but I'm pretty sure some American somewhere has already worked that out a long time before. So, um, yeah, there you are. I would say his theory is bang on the money, I think. If it gets any bigger, it's going to start fusion. Fucking Nobel Prize for that one. I think that is in order because it's very likely. I don't know too much about it. I think I just heard this once. Somewhere, somebody has said this. I don't know who. But I've heard it. Anyway, that's an interesting thing, isn't it? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Ooh, all those possibilities. What life do you reckon could be there? Do you reckon any? Do you reckon none? Do you reckon some? Primitive or otherwise, life's a life, right?
Yeah.
Life always supports life. That was yesterday, but still.
And it develops, evolves. It's about the point when you are there, when you see it. Later on can be completely different.
Would you say evolution is alive? But it likes to have its fingers in a lot of pies.
Yeah, I think it might be actually.
Do you think electricity is? Do you think a planet is? Do you think stars are?
Yeah.
You're made up of it. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Weird. And we have magnetic fields as well. What do you think we attract? If you have a minus, and it has a minus, and it comes together, you're pushing out pluses. That's interesting, isn't it? That's why I say control is easy.
Yeah.
Yes. Actually, it's probably easier if it was this way. A lot easier, in fact. Interesting. And then by then you'll be making clones, right? Perhaps. Engineering clones. And then imagine if this was spread across the 20 billion of humans that made 20 billion of their own little systems. And then cloning keeps being developed until it's engineered. Do you think that there will be soon where you draw a picture, doesn't matter if it was in sand, take a picture of it, and as soon as you've taken a picture of it or you look at it, depending on how the technology goes, and a machine will build that picture whilst you actively, or you could even say it, that's even invisible then, isn't it? To be able to understand what you're saying and be able to make that come together.
Yeah.
Apply that to engineered cloning. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Show it your life forms and then try and get in there with them with a little bit of awareness. Just in case they nail you to a cross or eat you. Or something goes wrong. Horribly wrong. Then you'll be safe, won't you? Imagine being able to control the clone from an vantage point. Somewhere safe. But be able to control an alternate clone of you. Do you think you would do that?
I don't know.
Bring a whole new meaning to games consoles, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that's like a game, isn't it?
It is. Do you find these fun? If you could, would you play games all the time?
Sometimes I find a game, I think it's funny, but then it gets boring.
You play this game called Life. Why?
Yeah. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's boring as well.
But you still do it.
Yeah.
Why do you do it?
Because I'm part of it.
Why do you do it even when it gets hard?
Don't know.
Imagine being able to do this with a clone. Awareness.
Yeah.
And what's more, if you zoned out of it, it would continue on autopilot until you zoned into it whenever you needed to. How many of those would you have?
Yeah.
Or you could have as many as you could get the resources for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's an interesting thing. Would you feel like a god in that aspect? You would, wouldn't you? But you
Yeah.
would be female.
People these days play the strategy games like Settlers and stuff like that
What's
develops. That's the little people that start as a hunter gatherers, and it moves through Middle Ages to current times, and then there's someone projected how it looks in the future, and some people enjoy it. They have different names. I don't know them all, but yeah, people like strategic games like that. So
That's not bad.
yeah. So that would be probably much better than the what we have now, stuff like that.
But it would be real.
Yeah.
As real as it
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
seem to be, as you are now,
Yeah.
here. Maybe even more easier, but still real is what you perceive real. Oh, oh yes. Patterns,
Yeah.
behavior.
Yeah. Or would people play in a hologram world?
Hologram.
Yeah.
Well, it's close.
It's close.
close.
It's not completely real, but it's very close. And if it reacts like
When all this stuff is being built, no, I think if we get to the real point of what you really want, it's that. Interesting, isn't it? Isn't it an interesting sort of thought process? I love it. I do enjoy it, but still, more so than not. But anyway, so jargon, and if it is, it is. If it isn't, it doesn't matter. Journey, universes, sohos, and star systems, and fusing the stars together. Odd or even? Always got to be even to eventually come down to the odd. That's weird, isn't it? Bit like electricity. That's a universal pattern anyway, and it's on a small level, there's a large level, and an even bigger level. You would need a lab. You would need loads of this. Shit, can we at least get through the door of fusion first? And fission? All right. Sorry, too soon. Too soon. I give you something nice, long to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
You should write a whole religion around this. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Bestseller. But anyway, that's it. Incorporative as well.
Yeah.
And imagine if this force had your back when you reach a certain level. Don't you think that would be an awesome... You'd feel invincible, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Just be careful with this one next time, please. Damn. How did you manage to do this? You invented clones? So I like... Still, right, we're going to leave this one here, because if not, I will probably talk the whole night into this, and that's probably no place where you want to be right now, so...
No, not right now. Another time again.
Yeah, sure.
I like this one. Yeah.
Huh?
I like this. That's interesting.
It is, isn't it? It's what everybody wants, isn't it? Is it truly what everybody desires, do you think?
Yeah, people want to live forever, but it's better to move your essence into new clone, isn't it? Or avatar or something, than try to preserve body.
Avatar is definitely much more better.
Yeah. Because it can change over time.
Which is close to eternity.
Yeah.
Then it no longer has the problem of how you'll live.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Eternal life is either a curse
Yeah.
or it's a blessing.
No, it should be avatar, not something that breaks and is still alive. That's nonsense.
Oof.
That doesn't function. So no.
Order and keepers,
Yeah,
just in case.
yeah.
A lot of suffering. Fuck that.
Mm.
Well, it's almost as close as planets being clipped by meteorites. I wouldn't like that either. Yeah, actually, I should say more like moons. Doosh. Strobing. Like a pulsar. Oof. Actually, I don't know. It depends on my mood.
Yeah.
Sometimes that sounds like a really fun idea. And then other times it's like, not today. Maybe tomorrow. Depends on the mood, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We all like a fairground ride, don't we? Take a time for the senses to adjust to that if they even ever truly do.
Yeah.
Interesting. Next life forms that were ever born into something like that. No different. It's like trying to teach a fish to be a human. Interesting. Still very interesting, isn't it? There we are. I'm going to leave it there. So I really don't want to. I want to hold on to this one a bit longer, but I will wind it down now. But yeah. Yeah, this one gives me quite a nostalgic feeling. Is that the right word? Can I use that? It makes me feel really good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it a lot. So just appreciate the mode. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. Yeah, there you are. That was fun.